Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's upload we are going to be going over a very underrated advanced movement, and that movement is snaking. I bet most of you guys have not ever heard of snaking, but let me just tell you guys, it's very OP. Snaking was very broken in Infinite Warfare. It's not so broken in Modern Warfare, but it still is a very good tactic that you guys should know. And before we get into this video, I just wanted to say, if this is your first time to the channel, my content is pretty much anything that's going to help you get better at Call of Duty. So if you want to get better at Call of Duty and help me reach my milestone of 1,000 subscribers, I would very much appreciate if you guys could hit that subscribe button, and a like rating is always appreciated. But without further ado, let's get right into this tutorial. To start things off, I just want to say, if you play tactical, it'll make this movement way easier. I do play claw, so as you guys can see, I use my pointy finger to push the buttons. Most people play like this, and then they have to move their thumb off the right analog stick and push the button. But since I do play claw, I don't have to take the time to move my thumb off the analog stick to go push the buttons. I can just use my pointy finger. But say you guys do not play claw, or you do not have a scuff. If you don't know what a scuff is, pretty much looks like this. It's just like a modded out controller. Not like modded out, but it has like extra buttons on there, making it easier for me to do better than other players pretty much. So for example, these buttons right here, I programmed them to be on the back, and so I actually can use these fingers to push these buttons, making it very helpful. But since I do play claw, I don't use the paddles. I just got the controller because it looked cool. Kind of waste of money. So if you do switch your button layout preset from default to tactical, as you guys can see, it will swap your melee button with your crouch button, making it so you actually can crouch with the right analog stick, and then your B button or your circle button if you're on PlayStation will be your new melee button. This will pretty much make it so you don't have to take the time to go from here to here. You can just click down on the right stick and your guy will crouch. And now with all that said, let's hop right into a custom so I can show you guys actually how to do the snaking. So first I'll show you what it looks like from my POV, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like from your enemy's POV. So the first thing with snaking, you only can do it behind cover. If you do it not behind cover, it really doesn't work. Like, there's no point to do it. So if you have a piece of cover, go over there and there's an enemy over here shooting at you, you can actually dodge the bullets by doing this. This is going to really throw them off. It looks like I'm just spamming the crouch button, but I'm doing a little bit more than that. After doing it for a while, it's kind of hard to consistently do it, but this is what snaking looks like. This is super annoying for your enemy. The enemy usually doesn't win the gunfight unless they can wallbang this piece of wood. So like, for example, if the enemy's over here, they probably would win that gunfight because they can just shoot right through this. But if it's like a piece of steel where they can't wallbang it, then you should be able to win that gunfight. So there's actually two types of snaking. One way it kind of works, but not really, and then the way I just showed you works very well. So here's the first way. So all you have to do is spam your B button and you just go like this, making it a little bit harder for the enemy to hit your head. If you're doing it like this, the enemy can still hit your head pretty easily because they don't really lose their aim assist. So I recommend strafing. This will make it a little bit harder for the enemy to hit you. Oh, and just so you guys know, your enemy does have aim assist on you when you're behind cover. So if you're standing right there, I'll actually have aim assist. So if I go like this, my crosshairs would slow down where your body is. Doesn't really make sense that you would have aim assist on your enemy if they're behind something, but that's just how Modern Warfare works. So when you're doing this, your enemy's still gonna have aim assist on you, making it so they should be able to kill you if you're doing this. So pretty much I wouldn't really recommend doing this type of snaking. The type of snaking I would recommend is doing it like this, and the tutorial on how to do this. So step 1, you lay down. This part, as you guys can see, I'm laying down. So you want to lay down, or when you lay down on your left analog stick, you want to move forward and click down. They're pretty much activating like a sprint. So as you guys can see, I'm going to move forward, click down on it, it makes me stand up. And that's what's going to bring you back up. So I'm going to lay down, move forward on the left analog stick, and click at the same time. So now I am dropping down to my stomach, and then I'm standing back up. And the reason this throws off your enemies more than this one is because you're laying down, and when your enemies are shooting at you, they're only going to be shooting like here and up. They're not going to be shooting down here. Like, who shoots at the enemy at their legs behind cover? Like, that doesn't make sense at all. So while you lay down, they're going to completely lose aim assist on you, making it so you can like strafe while you're doing this, and they won't be able to hit you at all. They'll just keep losing their aim assist, and you should be able to keep track of your aim assist. And now I'll show you guys what it looks like from your enemy's POV. So I got my girlfriend's account in here. I'm going to be using her as the dummy. So while you're snaking, it's going to look like this for your enemy. I wish I had another person on here so I could show you guys how you lose your aim assist, but it's kind of hard to hold two controllers with the same hand. And then here is the first slide cancel where you just bob your head. This is pretty easy for you to die if you're just doing this. It's pretty much just not as good as the other one because the enemy doesn't lose their aim assist. And with the snaking, you actually can pair it with other things. So if an enemy's right there, I can slide cancel into cover, shoot, go down, shoot, go down, shoot. And when I'm doing that, I shouldn't be losing the gunfight because I'm doing the slide cancel, I'm breaking their camera, and then I'm just repeatedly breaking their camera by just doing the snaking over and over. And one tip I have for you guys is to keep the dot in the center of your screen because you want to make it so you can be able to snap on your enemy when you stand back up. So if you're like looking down here, you're gonna have to look up and snap on your enemy, making it so you probably will die if you're doing this. But if you keep the dot in the center, you can just stand up and snap. and then stand up and snap, stand up and snap. Snaking is one of the easier advanced movements to do, so I recommend you guys trying to master this one. Slide canceling is probably one of the hardest, but if you can do a slide cancel into a snake, you literally won't lose any gunfights. Just there is one thing, lots of the CDL pros, like in the Pro League, they actually don't ever do the snaking because it's super scummy, and that's because it breaks the cameras. Usually pros like to break their enemies' cameras, but this is like a super broken tactic to where it's like pretty much the enemy will always die. And so it's just like not a good sportsmanship pretty much to do this. Clubs don't really matter as much, but if you're playing like a CDL playlist, I wouldn't recommend doing it because you will probably get lots of hate for doing it. And that's pretty much just because it completely destroys your enemy's camera, making so they literally have no chance of killing you. Say you do execute in a very poor way, you probably will die. So if you are going to be doing this in public matches, I recommend getting really good at it, because if you don't do it right, then you'll probably die. And that's going to wrap it up for the tutorial on how to snake in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I'm now going to hop into a multiplayer match, so I'll see you guys in the match.